don't know.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I don't. That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Oh, Ms. Moore, Ms. Toussaint, what an honor. Seriously, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
I love Julie Taymor. I love her vision. I love the way that she makes me look at things differently, whether it's The Lion King or the Beatles or Gloria Steinem. And I'm just thinking, what is a moment in your life that you would love to see sort of through the vision of Julie Taymor to see how she would envision that moment?
Ooh, I don't know.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I don't. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. You know, the funny thing is that sometimes you don't even know. Like I was going to say, even being in a movie with Julie, you know that she's going to have a different take on it, but you don't know exactly how it's going to work. But I think one of the things that she did so beautifully is that she made something that wasn't a standard biopic, not only a kind of an internal exploration of a woman's life and her importance in the world, but also an exploration of the entire movement. And so she brought what was so personal to Gloria to all of us. You know, they always say, you know, the personal is political, and so much so in this movie. So that when you go from that, you know, the internal life of Gloria to this idea of being on a bus, heading towards the Women's March, it's so beautiful because it brings you in as an audience member to that journey, and that's what Julie does in such a spectacular fashion.
She's able to create metaphors in ways where she's able to take what seems to be ordinary moments of life and really transform them into extraordinary moments. And her sense of the visual, I think she could just step into any moment of our lives and sort of transform and tamorize it. And it suddenly becomes something that you don't even realize existed.
I love that term, tamorize. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one of the things that I was left thinking about when the film was over is sort of just this, the ripple effect, the everything that exists now in a positive way because of all of the actions and the sacrifices that she's made. And I'm curious, is there a role that you've been a part of or a movie that you've been a part of that in a direct way or maybe even an indirect way sort of exists because of the actions of Gloria Steinem?
I think that I think honestly, just being able to be a working woman, that I think that's something that the women's movement has created for us. I mean, it wasn't. I think all of these people, when you talk about, you know, Dorothy Pittman Hughes and Dolores Huerta and Flo Kennedy and Gloria and Bella Abzug, they were all so much about fairness. They were about fairness for everybody and gender parity, and a lot of that has to do with having the opportunity to work and to be paid the same and to find childcare. And, you know, so all of those things make it possible for me to be a woman in a working world, to have a family and to work. I wouldn't be able to do those things without the women's movement.
And with Flo Kennedy, I mean, I've played a lot of lawyers in my career, and, you know, Flo Kennedy was one of the first attorneys, first Black woman, one of the few Black women at that time in the 50s to graduate from Columbia as an attorney after she threatened to sue them. So that, I mean, just every time I'm playing an attorney right now, but I did a show once called Any Day Now, where it was about an empowered woman who was a civil rights activist. And I look back now and I think, wow, she is the child of Flo Kennedy, come present. So that I've had a lot of experience with sort of standing on Flo's shoulders.
I love that. Well, seriously, they're giving me the wrap. I have 10,000 more questions I could ask you, but Ms. Moore, Ms. Toussaint, it truly an honor. Hopefully the questions weren't too weird. I know it's been a long day. Try to shake it up for you, but really it's an absolute honor to get to speak to you, and congratulations on this film.
Thank you.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.